Guys. So you are welcome to the Java guide. So if you've been following, basically, you know that we've been trying to build a banking app that mimics some of the major banking operations that we all know of. So in the last class, we've introduced the project. We've actually built is the first service that allows you to register and sign up to become a member of our prestigious bank. So just to go over what we've done before. So so if you look here, this is the packaging structure. Okay. So basically you have a controller layer, we have a DTO, we have an entity, a repository, a service, and then an utils package. So the utils package basically just contains a number of reusable utility statements and then method as well. So if you look here, I basically have a number of response codes and then response messages as well. So this is basically, so I separated all of these guys just to promote software reuse and then to ensure that we actually have a custom response message for almost any or everything that we are going to be doing as you would find in most industry applications. And then here basically you see that I'm creating my custom messages as static and final variables. So static such that I don't need to create an object of this class before I can use them. I can actually just call them together with the class name. So and final to ensure that once you actually create once you actually initialize the value of this variable, okay, so it's not going to change again. So that's basically what I've done with these variables here. And then you can see the account generation method here. Okay. So basically I'm actually just concatenating the current year of creating the account as well as any six random digits. So it means my account number is always going to be 2023 and then any other six digits. So you could have here you could just have something like this 2023 11223344. Yes, I believe this is 10 digits, right? So as long as it's 10 digits, you can actually have something like this as your account number. So begin with 2023 and then any six digits. Okay, I think this is 10 digits. So the method for creating your account number could differ. It could be a total, you could have a set of just 10 random digits without any year involved as well. So this you can actually make it vary and make it work in any way that suits your purpose. Okay, then in here you can see my entity class. So this class here is where I'm actually going to be converting this Java code into an equivalent MySQL table. So with this, I'm able to create a users table in MySQL database, and then it would basically have all of these fields: first name, last name, and so on, all the way through the end like that. Okay, and then I have a repository that extends JPA repository. So this repository basically indicates that I'm going to be manipulating this user entity or this user table that I've created in my SQL. So by using some of the custom methods that come with JPA, as well as also using any method that I define inside this interface. Okay, then apart from that, I've also had a user interface here. Okay, so here you can see I'm returning a bank response, and then this method here basically is to define that I'm going to be creating an account number, and then I'm going to be sending an object of user request. From user request is basically declared in my DTO, and then here the you can see the implementation of the create account. So basically, it's just in steps. The first step is to check if that current user you are trying to create an account for exists. So most banks generally don't want to create two accounts for the same person. Okay, they don't want to create the same account for the same person. Sorry, two accounts for the same person. So and if you look at it, it doesn't really make sense, except there are two different types of accounts. But for our use case, only every user can only have one specific type of account. So here we are returning a custom message if the user actually already exists by email. So if that email already has an account, so you are returning this error message here. You are returning this error code and then this error message. So in a case when the user is actually a new user, then you actually create an object of user. Okay, you fill in the details of this user by accepting whatever the user sends from, ideally from Postman or from any other HTTP client. So you build an object of that user, you save the user using user repository, and then you return a custom success message. So basically, this is what this is what we've actually handled inside this implementation class. Okay, then the next thing that I would like to also, okay, yes, this DTO class, right? So here we have a user request class, which actually defines the sort of request the user has to send. So a user who wants to actually create an account, for example, he needs to send a request that matches what we have here, first name, last name, all the way down here. And then when you send this request, basically you'll be expecting this kind of response. Okay. So the response you are going to be getting will be a response code. You expect a response message and then an account info, right? So this account info, yeah, I'm basically making use of a composition. Okay. I'm basically using of composition. So we can see account info here, right? So account info basically just returns your account name, account balance, and then account number. So, yep. And then here you have your user controller. Okay, so your user controller which maps requests through this URL, right? And then you can see, so you just call, it's basically just calling the method you've created inside your implementation class. And then, yeah, so basically that's it. So today we are going to be implementing the email alert. Okay, so for example, after you've created an account, so you typically want to send a confirmation to your user that this your account has been created. Okay, and then you might want to also send the account number that was generated via mail. So that's basically what we are going to be achieving today. So this shouldn't take too much. So I've tried to plan this tutorial in a way that every tutorial will have at least one specific deliverable. So here we hope to deliver the email uh, the email service today. So let's get started. So to actually work on the email service, we are actually going to be using a method that is actually defined by Spring Boot. So as you know, Spring Boot provides a number of libraries for us to do a lot of things. So here we are going to be making use of okay, so we are going to be using of Spring. We are going to be making use of Spring Email. So, yep. So let's take a look at. So let's get started with this. So the first step is to add the required dependency inside the pom.xml. Okay. So so basically I'll just come up here to undo to add the required dependency. So here I can just go to Maven repository. gmail.com. Okay. Yeah, okay. So the dependency I would be looking to add is simply Spring Boot starter mail. So I think yes, Spring starter mail. Yes, so I have this here. So open this guy up. So this is the dependency I'm going to add. Just copy it and then yeah, okay. So yes, in here now, just paste the new dependency here. Okay. Then refresh using this button. Okay, so while that the necessary jars are being downloaded, so let's yep. So I believe this should okay good. So we have this working fine now. Okay, so then the next thing is to apply the necessary configuration properties here. Okay, so yeah, so the next thing would be to apply the necessary configuration properties. So yeah, okay. So some of these configuration properties are just like we have for your Spring Boot database. So we actually have is number of properties as well for Spring Boot starter mail too. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing here. Yeah, okay. So going back to the ID here. So some of the properties we need to specify here are we need to specify the host of the host of the email you are trying to actually make use of. So to do that, you just add spring dot mail dot host. So and in this case, you are trying to make use of Gmail. So I'm sure that most, or if not every one of us, has a Gmail account. So you specify the protocol, which is smtp dot gmail dot com. Okay. Then the next one would be spring dot mail dot port. So and then the port number is 587. Then the next one would be spring dot mail dot username. So this username is basically the email address that you want to be the sender of your emails. So basically when you receive an email, there's usually a sender, right? So here you are going to specify who the sender is going to be here. So and here our sender is okay. I'll just use my own email address, magicad5 at gmail.com. Okay, then the next will be spring.mail.password. Okay, so yeah, basically the password you have to use is actually not the same password you use to log into your Gmail account, right? So Gmail actually provides us with an option to generate a password for applications like this. So it's something that is created for developers. So to actually do that, so this is what I'm so open your Gmail account, okay, something like this. This is your Gmail account, right? Then from here, click on manage Google account. Okay. So once you click on manage Google account, go over to security. Okay. So from security, you basically need to add an app password. So to do that here, just search for app passwords here. Okay, so you can see app passwords, right? So click on app passwords. So give it a few seconds. It would ask you to sign in with your normal Gmail account password. So sign in, click next. So this is just a normal security check. So once you click next, it should then give you, okay, so you can see this is the password that I have created here just for the purpose of this tutorial. So yeah, basically what you should just do is select app. So in this case, let's say other app. So you can just say TJA app underscore email, any name at all. Then click on generate. Okay, click on generate. So once you generate, so it gives you this password there, right? So just copy this password. You can save it somewhere in your notepad, right? Okay, so once you've done that, once you've saved this password, click done. Okay, so here I'm going to actually open up where I saved my own Gmail credential. So this is the generated password that I got for my own account. So I'll just copy this guy and then come over here and then paste it. So don't forget, it's the generated password that you are going to make use of. And then, yeah. So the other stuff I will just apply here is again spring.mail dot properties dot mail dot smtp dot hot equals true, then spring dot mail dot properties dot mail dot smtp dot start tls dot enable. Okay, set this guy to true. Yeah, so I think we are done as regards our Spring Boot mail configuration. Okay, so this is just the next step. So once we are done with this, we move on to some of the core developer stuff that we need to do. So yeah, I'm just going to add a new DTO object. I'll just call it email details. Sorry, I will be adding a new DTO class, not objects now, class. Okay, so it will have the following details: private string, your recipient, private string, message body, private string subject, private string attachment. So I'm just so basically I'm just seeing it as an opportunity to add a full email service, probably even if not for now, since we are only sending alerts and won't be using attachments. So I'm just making this just for the future. Later on when we might need to also probably I feel there might be a use case for attachment. So I'll just add attachment. And then the next thing I would want to do is my annotations, data, okay, at all acts constructor, and then no acts constructor builder. Okay, so basically, I think there was a question about why I make use of as data on some occasions, and in some other occasions, I make use of at getter, at setter. So basically, I'm just following the least privilege principle. So least privilege principle is about giving a particular entity or perhaps a particular object or a particular class or a particular variable the least uh the least access that it actually requires. So if it actually requires a private access, don't make it public. Okay. So here in this case, you can it's a good practice to actually use as data on your DTO classes. But as for your entity, you can just use as getter and setter. That is so as not to add too many responsibilities to this your entity class. So this entity class is basically going to be it translates to your database, right? So and you don't want it to be doing too many things so as not to slow down your application. So that's why I'm actually using at setter at getter on my entity class. And then in my DTU, I'm basically making use of at data, right? Okay, so let's move on to the next guy. So we've done the email details class, and then yes, the next thing I need now is to create the service. Okay, so the first service I'm going to create. Okay, let me create the first is interface. I'll call it email service. Okay, interface. So here I will just do void. Okay, this guy's not returning anything. Send email. Send email alert. And then this guy will take in email details. Email details. As simple as that. And then here I'm just going to have the email service implementation. So email service implementation. Let me label it with that service. And then so yeah, I'm going to auto wire a dependency. So I'm going to be auto wiring Java mail sender. Java mail sender. Okay. And the next thing I want to do is I want to add my my email sender. Okay, the sender email. I just want to add it as a as a variable, as an instance variable with global access, so I can call it from elsewhere, right? So string sender email. Okay, so this sender email, if you recall, I've actually added it here, right? So I'm just going to access it by calling the this property name or this key here, right? So I'll just go back in here. Don't forget, I'm just supposed to use this spring.mail.user. I'll copy it, come back here, and then I would use at value to actually have access to my to the application of the properties file. So and then here I'll just do dollar and then I'll paste in this. So with this, I would have access to, you can see login user of the SMTP server. Okay, so good. Then here I would make this guy implement that email service interface I created. Okay, so it cries out for help. Now the response to its call and then just implement this guy. Good. So yeah, so you can see this guy is just going to be another utility method. I need to use it in other services. So yeah, let's just do this. So put in a try block and then we have simple mail message. Mail message equals new simple mail message. Okay. So yeah, I will just do mail message dot set from. Okay. So this would be, so basically this is setting who is this email actually coming from, right? So I'll just call my what sender email is this guy here. Okay. So I just apply my sender email here. And the next one would be mail message dot set what reci sorry to be dot set to, yes. So and then here I'm going to be sending my email details dot get recipients. Okay. And the next one would be mail message dot set text. Okay. This will be email details dot get message body. Then the next one would be the subject. Mail message dot set subject and email details dot get subject. Okay, so I think with this four, we can have a very basic message. Okay, so okay, so then the next thing will now be I'll just make use of this guy that I've auto wired Java mail sender, Java mail sender dot send. So I'm basically going to be sending what? An object of simple mail message, which is mail message here. Okay. And then here I might want to just log out the message in my console and then I'll just say mail sent successfully. Okay, so this will just come out in the console. So yes, I think okay. So here I need to add the corresponding exception. So good. I think we are good now. Okay, so basically, if you look at it once again, this guy is not out to return any response. It returns a void. So rather, the response is going. I'm just going to be incorporating this service into other places where I'm going to be needing them. So and then the first place where I'm going to be needing it is inside this user interface class. So I'll just auto wire that service in here, auto wired, and then I'll call email service. Okay. So if we look at it carefully, so after creating that user and saving the user, right, I might just want to call that method. Okay. I might just want to call that method here. So yeah, I'll just do email service. So let me just add that. Send email alerts. I'll just do email service dot send email. Okay. So yeah, I need to pass in my what email details. So let me create an object of email details here. Email details, email details equals email details dot what? Yeah, builder dot build. So yeah, I'll just call so the first one is what? The recipient. Let me attach my recipient here. So the recipient of this email is going to be what? The saved user dot what get email. So the email of the saved user is basically who we are sending the email to. So saved user dot get email address. Okay, then the next one would now be the message, the subject, right? So let's do add a subject here. Dot subject. So yeah, I'll just say account creation. Yeah, that's as an example. And what else again? The message body. Okay. So yeah, I could just say something like that. Congratulations. Your account has been successfully created. Okay. So then the next thing I would do now is I could also want to send the proper account details too. So yeah, I'm just doing an escape line and then yeah, your account details. So and then you can also do another break line and do account name. Okay. So this account name would just be the saved user dot get first name, right? Plus concatenate a space plus saved user dot get last name, concatenate a space plus saved user dot get other name. Okay, so I believe this should work. And then I might also want to I also want to send the account number, right? So I'll just do account number. So it will just be saved user dot get account. Okay, so I think, yeah, I believe this should work. Okay, so we've actually built this guy here. Okay, let me go and, okay, yeah, I believe I've built this guy. So in here, I'll just pass in the email details that I've created. So once again, let's take a look at it. So I'm actually building an object of what email details here. So this is the email I'm going to be sending here, right? Okay, and then this is the call to send email. Okay, and then as usual, I just have my normal response. So yeah, to test this guy out, let me check my database. Okay, so let's call it roots. I think I know my password. 20, and then I think it's T. Okay, let me just confirm this from here. Application of properties. So okay, TJ underscore bank. So let me go back and quickly add that. So I want to actually view my database. There's something I need to check to confirm. So here I'll just do roots. Yeah, TJA underscore bank. And you can test. So I can test this connection. So anyway, this feature is basically available to the ultimate version of IntelliJ. So click OK. So yeah, let me just refresh. So I have one user table created already. I want to actually check that record. Okay, I want to see the email I used. Okay, good, good, good. So okay, yep. Let me go back to my postman now. Okay, sorry, this guy should be user. Save this guy. So this was the test I carried out the last time. So yes. So let me use my name. Uh, Kibade Shola. Let me send mail. Okay, make an adoption state. Okay, so let me test with this now. Then save. Let me send. Oh, I haven't actually started the application yet, so let me start it. So yeah. Okay, so the application has started port 8080. So let me just send this guy now. Okay, so basically my account is created. So and then you can see from my log here that I have what mail sent successfully. Let me open my email again, just confirm. Okay, good. I have this account creation, right? So it says congratulations, your email has been successfully created, and then you have my account details. So here is it basically. So you can So yeah, so basically this is just what we have as far as this lecture is concerned. We've been able to build an alert system, and then we've incorporated it into the user service that we created before. So all right guys, our next class is going to see us step further, and then we are going to be creating the core banking services. We are going to do the credit, we are going to do the debit, we'll do transfer, we'll do accounts, name inquiry, balance inquiry. Yeah, so that's just it basically. So and then thanks everyone for following, and then I look forward to continuing this series and creating more useful content. So see you guys later. Bye for now.